Don't trust the guard either. He's an accomplice as well. Now then, I'll tell you detailed steps to take. You must save him.
You want me to save him?
Huh?
What is it?
Nothing.
Sai, riportami Joker, please, you must.
Anyway, what brings you here? I thought you were done with your business.
Did anyone else stop by? Nobody?
There'd be no reason for anyone else to come down here.
Yes, the guard will be one of ours. We'll have to eliminate him after to destroy the evidence, though.
La guardia è stata eliminata. Come mai è ancora qui?
So it's all true.
Of course it's true. Is something the matter?
It's Akechi-kun. He had to take a sudden call, so he won't be able to make it down today.
Huh?
I've been asked to handle things instead.
You? But...
You know, if you stay here, they'll likely get rid of you to eliminate any evidence. I suggest you go into hiding at once if you value your life.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't say a word of what transpired here. Trust nobody. Forget this ever happened.
Metaverso lo stanno usando per riavvolgere il nastro quel tanto che basta per tirare fuori Akira. Non sei distantissima.
And John, can I get you to look over here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So he got caught. That group sure was something.
Yeah.
So the next shoot got me thinking. How about we have you do an idol thing, you know? That cool?
What a surprise to think that the one behind all this is just a minor. But considering how quickly they announced his arrest, the police must surely be confident in the outcome of this case.
Well, I'll be. Goodness, look at you now. It's been a while, Ryuji.
Huh? Yeah.
You stopped visiting so abruptly, everyone was worried about you. It's your second year, right? Are you still doing track and field? I'd love to see you run again.
Also, the young man continues to remain silent, refusing to implicate any potential accomplices. However, considering the number of charges brought against him...
I wonder if something happened.
Yeah.
You seemed stumped for once. Not feeling it today?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not chiding you. Just do as normal at your own pace. With your skills, there's no need to worry about your future.
Mo si scopre che in realtà Morgana è Akira.
Right.
He's just a high school student. How do you think he was contacting the others?
The police here can search any online communications. His accomplices may slip up eventually.
Still, it seems the Phantom Thieves' most recent targets have gone comatose. Actual harm has been done here.
Given the lack of physical violence, their method is still a mystery. Regardless, the police are looking into attempted murder charges.
You never turned it in? That's quite the surprise. I thought I lost it this whole time.
I'm sorry.
Well, your grades are excellent. And you're student council president. I'm sure you'll be admitted anywhere you apply. That one Phantom Thief should have followed your example. You hear? It seems he was caught. Some high schooler. I wonder why he turned to a life of crime.
We also received information that the young man was placed on probation for assault.
Because of his previous record, he had to leave his hometown. Perhaps his motive lies there.
I believe your father can rest in peace now.
That phantom thief could never have changed anything. Only a handful of people are qualified to alter the world. So you've been coming home late. That's what I've heard. I make a good playmate, you know.
Non ti azzardare, Viscido.
The young man being held in custody has committed suicide. The police have confirmed his death, although details have not been released. To repeat, the suspect has committed suicide while in
custody. This station will continue to report any further updates as they arrive.
It can't be.
You're shitting me. We got him.
Yes! Yes! Coso, se so che il nostro angelo ti sta con mano, manco stessi facendo una fatality. E te la ficco in gola.
It would seem as though you have been killed.
Yes! Yes, of course.
But why were you killed? Why did you have to die? Do you remember? It seems you forgot an important fact while your consciousness was hazy. Indeed, your death was a necessity for your escape from certain doom. What a tremendous plan. How might you be capable of executing such a feat? Well then, let us rouse the memories which are missing.
Yes. La prima volta che ho intuito ci fosse qualcosa di strano. Giusto, durante il festival scolastico.
Hey, they're going. You realized it too, then. It was our conversation about pancakes, right?
Fucking pancakes!
There's no way he could have reacted like that if he hadn't heard me.
Ha qualcosa in mente.
Probably. It was your social studies trip. We met him in the hallway of that TV station.
Già.
There's no way that this is the first time he's heard my voice. This whole deal feels sketchy.
E sospetto.
Yeah. It's impossible not to think that of him. Okay. Let's get everyone on the same page right away.
Delicious pancakes! Capito, Bloody?
There's something else we want you to look into. One more person has been on our mind.
Sì, avevo qualche pezzo mancante. Praticamente durante la gita che hanno fatto alla stazione televisiva mi sono focalizzato su Maschera Nera, esatto. Quando hanno fatto la... fregato da un gatto, yes, Xanx, yes. Quando hanno fatto la gita, a un certo punto loro hanno parlato di dove potevano andare dopo e Morgan ha detto perché non andiamo in quel palazzo a forma di pancake, ho voglia di pancake. E a che ci è spuntato dall'angolo dicendo oh, dopo pochissimo, e ha fatto oh, qualcuno stava parlando di pancake? Ed è un dettaglio che ti sfugge. Però nessuno può sentire Morgana se non è mai stato nel metaverso. Quindi Akechi ha sentito Morgana, che era l'unico che ha parlato di pancake, perché era già stato nel metaverso.
If it's possible, I want to eavesdrop on their phone conversation.
No, non ricordavo proprio la scena. Appunto, perché è talmente buttata lì che te ne dimentichi.
That'll be tough.
Ci serve veramente.
Right. It's a necessity. I'd have to plant a bug directly on the phone. So it's impossible even for you. I didn't say it was impossible. Okay, I've got a plan. That's perfect.
È un segreto?
Don't worry, I'll tell you the details later.
Futaba farà qualcosa? Spero che funzioni.
This is gonna be fun. I can't wait.
Futaba ha piazzato la cimice quando ha fatto finta di prendere il cellulare di Akechi e dire "Oh, è l'ultimo modello, che bello!" E ha piazzato la cimice per prendere le sue conversazioni.
So we're going to use this place.
Loro sono andati nel metaverso e hanno creato in pratica una controfigura di Akira nel metaverso di quel posto. Quindi
It'll be a gamble. I think it's gonna work. You can't tell a thing.
Quindi Akechi è stato nel metaverso nel momento in cui ha visto il telefono e ha ucciso Akira.
This game is not over yet. There are still things that must be done.
La mia memoria comincia a schierirsi. Giusto. In quel momento è questo che mi è successo veramente. Si sono serviti del metaverso, esatto, non eri lontanissima. Akechi ha ucciso una Akira del metaverso, mentre quello vero era nella realtà vivo e vegeto. Plot twist incredibile. Vuoi salvare? Yes. Però si può fallire. Mi pare che se vendi i compagni puoi fare game over in questo momento. Io non l'ho mai fatto, quindi non lo so. Però se vendi i tuoi alleati, fai game over, mi pare. Oh, sì, sorrisetto, me like. Sì, quando mostra emozioni, Akira è più interessante. Non ha senso venderli? No, appunto. Sono esausto. È come se i miei sensi stessero venendo meno.
Hey, are you alright? Don't fall asleep until we reach our destination. Are you listening?
Forse è perché sta svanendo l'effetto della droga? I ricordi che pensavo di aver perso stanno ritornando.
Are you listening?
Sì.
Anyway, we need to talk about how to get out of this situation. Futaba's monitoring of Akechi's phone has confirmed it. He did indeed have an ulterior motive.
Ottieni un bad ending, ok, grazie, Beth.
It's on a completely different level than just that.
Not only was he trying to frame us, but he was the true culprit behind the mental shutdowns. His offer to assist us was simply a ploy to frame the Phantom Thieves and kill him. If we go into Sis's palace as he suggests, we'll likely be met by a large ambush of police forces.
To think he would be this far gone. I know now what it means to feel a chill down my spine. Furthermore, he wishes to bring a police squad from reality into the palace.
If the 8 of us can enter at once, it's not inconceivable to think a larger group is possible. He may even be able to bring in vehicles or other special pieces of equipment.
So, this really was just a setup to shift the blame onto us.
He made us go after Okumura. Then once we triggered the change of heart, he killed him. And he told us he had seen the true culprit, but it was him the entire time!
The whole time he was working with Makoto's sister, he was really just some homicidal maniac. Come on,
We gotta take that bastard Akechi down. Isn't that recording we got enough proof to do it?
No. Akechi is merely a tool. His orders come from elsewhere. The grand mastermind behind this all.
Ah, ma lui ha detto la maschera nera. Che merda di cristiano. Già.
An unimaginable fiend capable of arranging the murder of a suspect inside of a police station.
In realtà l'aveva detto Madarame per primo, la maschera nera. O l'ha ripetuto anche Kaneshiro, mi pare.
Unless we find out who that is, we will continue being targeted even if we defeat Akechi.
Quindi c'è una maschera nera, effettivamente.
But what means do we have of learning his identity?
We'll have to make Akechi say it. Though once we do, that mastermind will likely eliminate us.
I think that will be the case eventually, regardless of whether or not we learn his identity. The only reason it hasn't happened yet is because we're an easy target to blame for his crimes. If he realizes that's no longer possible and abandons that plan, he may opt to kill us immediately.
Damn it! So we don't got a choice but to go with that bastard's suggestion.
But if we go into the palace like we're told, he'll get arrested and then Akechi will kill him.
Palace. The palace. Actually, there's something I'd like to say regarding...
Aha! We can use the palace to our advantage!
What's this all of a sudden?
There's a way. A way to get past Akechi and get the mastermind to lay off of us, all while learning his identity.
Really?
You gotta be kidding me!
If he wants to kill the guy, why not let him? That is, inside of a palace.
Yes, we could have him kill the cognitive version, all the while believing he killed the real one.
For real?
Yeah, that's it!
It seems that's our only option. Listen close, everyone. I have a plan for how we can carry this operation out.
Ed ecco come siamo riusciti a fottere Akechi.
Ever since the death of their teenage leader, the Phantom Thieves have fallen silent. However, the police intend on continuing this investigation until the case is fully solved.
I'm sorry I'm late. I had to finish a few things at work. Where are they?
Waiting upstairs. Go tell him to come on down. I'm gonna fetch him.
You're her sister, correct?
Makoto told me everything. Futaba-chan, I'm sorry that I caused you so much trouble this past summer.
It's ancient history now.
Man, that goddamn detective.
Look who's here.
It's your boy!
Hey, you big bastard.
How've you been?
Morte a parte?
You must be fine if you're joking around like that.
It truly is a relief to see your face.
I bet that moron Akechi don't even know we tricked him yet.
Still, how'd you pull this off? Isn't this guy considered dead?
You weren't told anything? I heard my sister brought him here, though.
Yeah, she came over in a taxi, dumped him off, and told me to keep him safe. It was right after they announced he had died, too. Almost gave me a heart attack.
Oh, povero Sogio.
I didn't have time to explain.
Hey, shouldn't we tell boss what really happened?
We wanted to make our enemy believe the leader of the Phantom Thieves was dead.
What?
What we did was make that enemy kill his fake in the metaverse.
Hold on a sec. Enemy? Fake? What are you talking about?
The true culprit behind all these incidents set us up. Our goal here was to determine their identity.
True culprit? I see. So you guys were going up against someone else?
Yes.
It was Goro Akechi. You knew beforehand that he was the traitor, didn't you?
Era troppo sospetto.
Akechi himself gave us the chance to strike back. He made one fatal mistake.
Couldn't you have just said from the beginning that Akechi was the real culprit?
That was Akechi. Besides, neither you nor the other investigators would have believed something like that, would you?
True. Akechi was credited with the arrest of the Phantom Thieves. Not even I would think he was the culprit. In other words, you left him alone on purpose. That was a bold move.
God, I can't keep up with any of this stuff. So what was this mistake Akechi made? What did he do?
He slipped up in regards to Morgana's voice.
You mean a cat?
Ti stanno spiegando praticamente tutto il ragionamento che ho fatto io in 5 secondi in maniera molto più elaborata.
Yes, Morgana can talk.
Sorry, was that supposed to be a joke?
Oh, our apologies. That's completely true. You surprised?
Does that mean he said something just now as well?
Se parli dopo con Futaba ti spiega meglio.
But you don't understand him, do you? That's how it was for all of us at first, too.
When you're in the metaverse, Mona talks like a normal person. Once you hear that and your brain realizes he can actually talk, you start to understand him in reality. It's a change in cognition, most likely.
Thanks to Akechi's lame acting, we figured out something was up.
When we talked to Akechi at the school festival, he was acting like he just realized Mona could talk. But we already saw him drop a mega hint about it way earlier.
Oh, I know a place! I want to go to that huge pancake-looking place we passed on the way here!
Delicious pancakes.
Oh, am I mistaken? I thought I heard something about delicious pancakes.
Delicious pancakes.
Mona was the only one who was talking about a pancake. That meant Akechi'd already been in the metaverse by then.
And since he was lying to us about that, we assumed he had a hidden motive behind contacting us.
It seemed odd upon further thought. His reaction to my pancake comment was an honest one, after all.
Una storia troppo bella.
He did approach us when we found ourselves in the worst trouble yet. That's why we asked Futaba-chan to wiretap his phone.
I pretended to be interested in checking the phone out, but I was actually planting my app. My heart was pounding while I was doing it, though.
Even that ace detective could never have imagined a program being installed so quickly. Futaba's quirky nature proved to be a great help.
That was just an act!
Insomma.
After a few days of listening, this confirmed his betrayal.
Then I'll guide the police into her palace and have them catch the Phantom Thieves in the act. That would be the only way to arrest them, given their methods. I'll deal with them after that. Let me see. We could say he stole the guard's gun and committed suicide during his imprisonment. How about that? Public security questioning will occur on the first day. And with that room, my task will be simple.
Is this for real?
Oh beh, l'ha detto anche l'altro best boy che so, Giro, quindi salute.
Yes, the guard will be one of ours. We'll have to eliminate him after to destroy the evidence, though.
So they planned to get rid of that guard from the beginning.
Well then, I will make the arrangements the day after the arrest. And thus, the dangerous criminal responsible for the mass mental shutdowns shall end his own life. When he does, you will become a great hero who saved Japan from evil. As will I, of course.
I knew he was acting strangely, but to think he was this far gone.
He's no ace detective. Akechi is the perpetrator behind the mental shutdown crimes.
On top of that, there's someone else commanding Akechi. Someone with great authority. So great that they can order an assassination in a police station. That's why we had to make a move before they did.
I see.
I see.
We baited Akechi into Sis's palace, making him dispose of our leader's fake, but think he killed him.
Can you elaborate on that in more detail? What exactly happened in my cognitive world?
We're sorry for using you without your permission. Your palace had all the conditions we needed.
What conditions?
First, we required a place inside the cognitive world that was the same as in reality.
That place is based on the real world after all. Anywhere that's not warped looks just like normal.
That's why nobody but the person who uses the nav even realizes they're in the metaverse.
Back with Kamoshida, we came in from the station without even noticing.
Ah, che ricordi.
You totally can't tell the difference if there ain't any distortions around.
We had already investigated Nijima-san's palace when Makoto brought the suggestion to us.
I was seriously impressed by that suggestion. To be honest, I didn't quite understand it, but I went along with it.
Dovevamo fidarci.
And it was absolutely the best decision we could have made.
Makoto is normally so calm as well, but once her mind is set, she gets oddly impulsive.
I did have a bit of a rivalry forming with Akechi, but I just couldn't contain myself anymore once you became a target, Sis. The reason I joined the Phantom Thieves was to heal your heart, after all.
My own achievements were all that mattered to me. I was desperate. I wasn't myself at all. I'm sorry I couldn't see that.
That goes for the both of us.
We heard from Mako-chan that you were going to do the interrogation, Nijima-san.
And regarding its location, I take it you used the data from my laptop?
I'm sorry.
Go on.
There were two things we were able to confirm while we were checking the metaverse.
Mi piacciono troppo i disegnini che fanno a questo punto. Con Joker e Joker Akira.
First, our clothes didn't change when we were down in the interrogation room. Second, the scenery and details outside of the palace proper were the same as in the real world.
Once we heard that from Makoto, we secretly went to check it out without Akechi knowing.
There was also one more thing we absolutely needed to make this work. A perfect cognitive replica of him in the metaverse's interrogation room.
Since he had yet to be caught, though, there obviously wouldn't be anyone in that room.
Once we saw the casino guests and police officers, we were convinced this would work. They looked no different from actual living people.
After that, we just had to work our way into the palace like usual, while keeping Akechi in the dark.
Everything went as planned up until we defeated Sis's shadow. However, it was then that we were met with a terrifying, unexpected police ambush. As a result, even though we managed to grab the treasure, we couldn't get it out of the metaverse.
Scusate un secondo. Here we go again. Si sente il mio respiro? Spero di no, perché ho abbassato un pochettino il volume delle cuffie e ho anche allontanato il microfono. Avevo notato che qualche tempo fa si sentiva, forse era troppo sensibile.
that was all an act. We had prepared an empty briefcase beforehand and merely acted like we were taking the treasure. This was because we knew the police would be coming for us.
We made sure before the operation that the police would be waiting to ambush us. And just as expected, he totally took the bait.
Nel frattempo si sta scatenando Zeus al di fuori di casa mia, va bene.
Him getting captured by the police went exactly how we planned it.
And I had been interrogating him with no knowledge of this. But how did you lure Akechi into this cognitive world's interrogation room?
All I needed were the coordinates.
Ha usato il suo portatile per entrare nel metaverso da remoto. Madonna. La faccia di Sai è incredibile, però per quanto sono semplici sti disegni sono bellissimi secondo me. Chiederle come allungherebbe troppo la conversazione. Lo farò più tardi.
Akechi disposed of the fake in the palace and left thinking he had been victorious. It must have been truly hilarious for our leader who sat idly in the real world's interrogation room. Surely he was acting quite cocky by himself in that quiet chamber.
Sì. Sorrisetto incredibile, azzeccato.
So that's why you gave me your phone. I only took it because of what you told me.
It's a shame I didn't have the opportunity to see that for myself.
Sono felice di essere vivo.
All I could do was try to handle all the messages that started coming to me on his phone. Huh. So in other words, I've been to the metaverse, albeit for a brief moment.
In our experience, there is little danger when someone enters their own palace for so short a time.
That's the other reason we had him give it to you. We needed you to listen to Alibaba, deceive the guard, and ultimately aid in his escape. By having you head back to the interrogation room, we could return you to the real world as well.
I mean, I had to think of some way to keep you from running into Akechi mid-assassination.
Huh. Astounding. I hadn't the slightest idea that such a grand operation was taking place within me.
I'm so glad he was able to persuade you during the interrogation. Even though we knew Akechi's plan, we were pretty worried about that part.
True.
Why is that?
Without Sis on our side, Futaba's plan and subsequent breakout would have never been possible.
Già, se Sai non fosse stata dalla nostra.
That persuasion was easily our greatest gamble. We couldn't consult Sis beforehand. It was absolutely the make or break moment of the entire plan.
Still, I'm surprised you could convince me in such a short time. Were you confident you could do it?
Sì, dai.
I see. Either way, I can't believe you went for such a risky idea.
If we could just tell you the true culprit's plan, I knew you'd realize the bigger picture. Realize that our leader was telling the truth, and that there was a greater evil to pursue.
As a result, we emerged victorious.
Then the reason you kept this a secret from me was so you could catch the true culprit, correct?
Yes. Plus, you had lost control of yourself at the time.
This is stunning. All I can really do is laugh.
I've kind of figured out that you guys made Akechi kill a fake. But what did you do about the body?
The police never even checked it.
Huh?
They had a coroner working to ensure his death was reported as a suicide. That coroner didn't take one look at the scene and just passed along a falsified death certificate.
The bad guys have that much influence?
Murder in a police station would be reckless otherwise. We also knew of a possible conspirator.
Thanks to Futaba-chan's messages and the guard's demeanor, I eventually came to undo nothing of this. They were thrown into disarray. As a result, his suicide during imprisonment was reported on the news, just as Akechi planned.
Yeah,
And with that confusion, he was able to escape with Nijima-san's help.
I made sure nobody would check the morgue for his body, and thanks to that, nobody knows he survived.
Thinking back to the interrogation, though, I can't believe what they did to him. The callous use of violence, and even drugs, is utterly abnormal. If he had lost consciousness and hadn't been able to tell Sis about the phone, I'm truly glad you made it back safe.
Makoto. Ci è mancato poco.
I almost became one of your assailants as well.
It still freaked me out when I saw the suicide on the news, though.
We made sure to live normal lives while he was being interrogated to avoid drawing any suspicion. Even with that, I couldn't help but worry for him in my heart.
Che zuccherino anche Haru, mamma mia.
Well, I knew right away that her plan worked out.
I wanted to believe, but considering what we were up against...
Ryuji's a bit on the dense and carefree side.
Can it, cat?
I had to be patient and avoid this place until things settled down. I finally feel relieved.
We knew he was alive, but it was difficult to not worry until we could confirm it in person.
Now that I think about it, my interrogation was just a formality for the head commander. What a joke, letting me interrogate someone who was meant to die. They just wanted to avoid backlash. Very well. From here forward, I will do my utmost to assist you. You saved me, after all.
That's reassuring to hear.
I'll do whatever I can to help too. Just let me know. Let's take a break for now, though. This old brain is pooped.
Povero Sojiro, effettivamente.
Oh, and feel free to use the first floor when you guys want to get together to talk. You'll need a hideout where you can be safe. Just say the word, and I'll close shop early.
Are you sure?
This guy can't leave. Plus, you won't make much progress if people can hear you from downstairs. It's not like this place is the liveliest joint in town. It won't be a huge loss for me.
Ryuji, ti sei scampato dal spifferare quello che hai detto su questo post.
Let us accept his offer. What a great man.
Il riassunto della storia è stato aggiornato. Sì, Sojiro all'inizio ce l'ha a morte con noi, poi diventa bellissimo. Akira Kurosu.
That sounds familiar.
Chissà come mai, vero?
It's me, Akechi.
Enter.
That's the death certificate of the principal offender, correct? Is there a problem with it?
No, nothing in particular. More importantly, you've done well with regard to the prosecutors.
The cause of death for the SIU director has been settled as a stroke.
I had him work quite substantially on forging evidence. His loss should be mourned.
It was thanks to his efforts that I could enter the Phantom Thieves' interrogation room, too.
The SIU is in disarray with his death. I'll take my time choosing a successor after the elections.
At any rate, I'm now praised as a hero, and I owe it all to the Phantom Thieves.
Madonna, i ceffoni che ti do spaccandoti i denti.
All possible hindrances are now gone. There's no doubt that this election is mine.
And on to our next story, the snap election for the House of Representatives. Discussion is swirling around potential nominees as the deadline for candidacy announcement nears.
Aspetta, devo menarlo anch'io. Sì, lo mettiamo in mezzo e ci mettiamo tutti intorno.
Candidates will announce on the 23rd of this month, while voting will be held on the 18th of next.
Elections, huh? Don't matter to us. It's not like we can vote in them yet anyways.
Why don't we resume our conversation?
Well, the Phantom Thieves are back together. We can finally take it to Akechi and the bastard backing him.
Have you figured out who's behind all this?
Masayoshi Shido!
Akechi accidentally let that slip after the murder. He said, Shido-san.
Shido? Feels like I heard that somewhere.
Masayoshi Shido!
He is unmistakably a man of power if he has such strong connections to the police.
Shido? Could it be Masayoshi Shido?
Si! Masayoshi Shido!
Who? I believe he's a politician. Remember, Ryuji? You said his speech was too loud.
For real?
Oh beh, chi sono io per non bere?
It's certainly possible that Shido is the mastermind.
Huh?
Do you have some kind of evidence?
Oh yes!
Nothing material. However, there are various conditions which align with that possibility. First, he would profit from damage done to the current administration by the psychotic breakdowns. He's maintained a negative stance toward the Phantom Thieves and has gained tremendous popularity. On top of that, he'll most likely become the next Prime Minister if he wins this upcoming
Ha
election.
architettato tutto Shido, ha fatto aumentare la popolarità dei ladri fantasma grazie ad Akechi e l'ha fatta scendere facendo incolpare a loro tutti i casi perpetrati da Akechi, ovvero i suicidi, eccetera, guadagnandole la fiducia delle persone perché lui è stato sempre contro i ladri fantasma.
No!
Did he set us up with that election in mind?
If he is behind all this, that would be in stark opposition to his honest public image.
So his current position and popularity is just him benefiting from the mental collapses.
We'll make him have a change of heart, no matter what it takes.
Sono con Haru.
Mom.
Shido, huh?
What is the matter?
I had a feeling he was wrapped up in all this. Just based on the connections I had from my previous job. I think the one who crushed Wakaba's research and confiscated her materials was probably Shido. From the moment Wakaba died, I had a hunch he was involved. But there wasn't anything I could do, so I chose to protect Futaba and went into hiding.
Why didn't you say that sooner?
You guys would have definitely gone after him if I had. He would have just killed all of you, no doubt. That's what he usually does to people who get in his way.
Originally, I was looking into the mental shutdown cases. It was then that I accidentally stumbled upon government research regarding the psychotic breakdowns. So I tracked down the whereabouts of that research data and met with the associated parties. Boss was one of those parties. I would never have imagined all of this was connected. The mental shutdowns, psychotic breakdowns, Shido, and even the Phantom Thieves' actions.
Way back when, Shido kept saying he was going to be Prime Minister one day. Nobody believed him, though.
What's going to happen to this country if Shido becomes Prime Minister? What about the world?
The issue is simpler than that. This is nothing more than yet another selfish adult trying to impose his will on the public.
We gotta expose that rotten bastard!
Yeah, we'll do it like always. Then let's check the nav.
Masayoshi Shido, the guy running for Prime Minister. Got a hit! Well, duh. Ain't a surprise he has one.
Where would the location be?
What kind of things go through a politician's head?
I always think of dirty money and shady actions.
What does he do? And where? We don't got a clue about this guy's life.
His palace must be somewhere that politicians frequent. Any ideas?
La sede delle elezioni?
Talk about small scale.
Perhaps it's the Diet Building?
Ah già.
We We got a hit!
How arrogant must he be to see himself as the ruler of the Diet Building?
Our next target's the big shot politician Masayoshi Shido.
Masayoshi
We're gonna do this, right?
Dobbiamo.
Hell yeah! Nobody against it?
Of course.
He will be a worthy opponent.
Let's win this together.
Time for revenge.
Then it's unanimous.
All we gotta do now is figure out what he thinks that Diet Building place is.
So that's the app that allowed me to enter the metaverse.
An old fart like me can't wrap his head around all this stuff.
We'll have to deal with this before Election Day, December 18th. That means we need it done by the 17th.
Bene, bene, bene.
It's best we hurry before they discover there's no body in the morgue.
Should we start tomorrow then? We can meet at the Diet Building after school.
Oh, questa ve la devo raccontare. Dica Bear.
That reminds me, what are you gonna do about school? You can't show up if you're supposed to be dead.
Miss Kawakami said he went back home for family reasons.
That's what I told the school.
Don't let him find out you're alive then, alright? This whole thing would be for nothing.
What do you mean?
This operation had another purpose outside of escaping Akechi's clutches. Shido tried to place all the blame on the Phantom Thieves and deceive the public at the same time. He has ruined countless lives, and even made Goro Akechi, a student, assist him with assassinations. A mere change of heart is too lenient a sentence for such an abominable criminal.
We'll be making use of the police statement that the leader of the Phantom Thieves committed suicide. Our leader, who is presumed dead, will come out of hiding to deliver a grand statement. He'll say he has escaped prison, not committed suicide, and was in fact almost killed by a criminal.
Everyone's gonna flip.
You guys thought through all this stuff too?
We're intellectuals, you know.
Ah, oddio, Ryuji, proprio tu? Non so.
That's why you needed such a daring trick as getting captured and appearing to be killed. What frightening teenagers.
But the true battle has only just begun. We won the first round, but we must stay on our toes.
Yeah, this ain't the time to be celebrating.
These people tried to trap and kill us. There is no end to their inhuman, conniving nature. We will need to be prepared for whatever may come our way.
I finally made it this far. It's already been 2.5 years since we met.
Back then, you earned the media's attention as a young politician who could rise up against bureaucracy. Because of that, those who wanted to preemptively deal with problems tried to tie you up in scandal.
To think I would fall for the ruse schemed by those decrepit fools in power. I recall that's when you came to me. You promoted yourself saying you had special powers. If it wasn't for the research on cognition that I dabbled in, I would have thought you insane.
I made those troublesome opponents psychotic, and erased any trace of that scandal.
Who'd think that tampering with a person's heart could trigger a psychotic lapse or mental shutdown? And when someone like that said he'd support me, I had suspected there'd be an ulterior motive.
It's because I sympathized with your aspiring ideology.
Uh-huh.
I believed that your ideals needed to be achieved for the sake of the country's future.
Well, my faith in you was precisely why I pulled the plug on that research. I only need you using that power. It'd be troublesome if someone else uncovered how it works.
Wakaba Ishiki, was it? That researcher. She wouldn't have had to die if she just complied.
Any suspicions should be snubbed out. Even the smallest doubt must be severed at the root.
Quindi abbiamo la conferma
We had an active public prosecutor's office director on our side.
che sono stati loro a volere la morte di Wakaba, la mamma di Futaba.
Astounding, isn't it? To think the director himself often forged evidence to secure his promotion. He was quite surprised when you confronted him about it. He didn't know who leaked that information. Well, I got that out of his shadow, so technically speaking, he did it himself.
This country's affairs have become stagnant. The political world is filled with old men who only act to preserve their own vested interests. The general public has forsaken such political affairs and don't even bother. Only ruin awaits us.
I must agree.
There's no need to be ruined along with such incompetent fools. I will lead this country to its revival. Those who get in the way must be eliminated at times. That's the correct way to use the metaverse.
Still, it would stand out if there were continuous deaths and scandals with your political rivals. Which is why I made them suspects. Prosecute the targets that I turn psychotic, and solve them as cases unrelated to you. And thus, the charismatic ace detective was born.
Thanks to your efforts, my clean image remains untarnished, and I've monopolized public opinion. Once I gained public sentiment, collaborators from all sectors began approaching me on their own. The police were no exception. With their management in my pocket, keeping them in check was easy.
When the Phantom Thieves emerged, I thought things might become somewhat troublesome.
And they were just brats once we looked into it. All we needed to do was lay the blame on them.
When you told me that, I knew then that you were the better man.
Their popularity was a bit beyond my expectations, but flipping it made the negative press stronger. After that, all I had to do was openly berate them. I've been gaining more supporters since. The current administration is dead with ongoing scandals. Never mind the fact that they're my doing. Even the government parties have begun splitting up, and the time has finally come. Just a little more, and I will take the seat of Prime Minister. However, inauguration isn't my goal. That's when everything truly begins. I'll make this country rich for the sake of its selfish and ignorant masses who can only rely on others.
In other words, you're creating a powerful country that can compete with the world.
The public resonates with my ideals and follows me. And for that, some sacrifices can't be avoided. That is my duty as the Chosen One.
The Chosen One.
Your assistance has been very influential in making my plans proceed smoothly. When I become Prime Minister, I'll grant whatever wish you want.
With this most recent case, my name has become known across the country, perhaps even the world. Surely my story will be passed down as a hero who won against monsters that could control people's hearts. I believe I'll lay low and devote myself to my studies.
I suppose with your age, you wouldn't come up with debauched desires.
I am thinking about the future, though.
Well, how do I put this?
Pare che le cose si siano finalmente sistemate. A domani avrai molti impegni, vero? Riposa un po'.
Well then.
Il capo ha ragione, oggi rilassiamoci. Oddio, io non ci capisco niente, però beh. Entri in roulette trials, esce Titan e fin qua tutto bene e facile, arriviamo a terza fase, i curatori muoiono, la mia testa Aya, 3 dei 4 DPS muoiono nella maniera più becera, Aya per te rimangono solo i 2 tank con metà vita e me, il ninja, uno dei 2 tank muore, Az sarà quasi morto, 10% di HP rimasti a Titan, Aya, usa il limit break, arriva al 6%, rimane bloccato nella pietra, la mia testa, oh god please no, Titan mi punta, attiva ogni potuto skill difensivo, una skill difensiva 10%, un colpo mi manda a metà vita, la mia testa, prepararsi al wipe, ma le mie mani liberano il tank, riprendo l'art, go, io gli faccio il danno 1% di HP rimasti a Titan, il tank muore, io oh god no, per qualche cazzo di miracolo scegli di caricare un'animazione Ora mai più da solo, con solo 10% di HP rimasti, a me riesco a levare quell'1% e porto a casa la vittoria, ma il mio apparato respiratorio numero 1 è bello che è morto. Wow, non ho capito tipo ho l'80%, però wow. Bravo. A ogni modo, mi fa piacere che tu sia tornato sano e salvo. Ma anche così non rende l'idea. Te la sei vista brutta, vero? Non preoccuparti.
Sorry.
A che c'era sulle tue tracce? Sapevo che era rischioso, ma potevamo contare solo su di lui. Grazie alla tua tenacia sei riuscita a ingannarlo. È ora della vendetta. Facciamolo pentire di aver sottovalutato i ladri fantasma. Futaba.
Remember how I hijacked your phone during the school trip? That kind of came in handy.
Ah, e come?
Well, remember how I put that wiretap app in Akechi's phone? Basically, that let me see GPS info for 2 phones, yours and his. I'd be able to tell the precise moment Sai Nijima, who had your phone, ran into Akechi. That's when I saw my chance, and beep, sent the signal to activate the Metaverse Navigator. But there was a chance they'd just pass each other without saying a single word. That's why we needed you to tell Sai Nijima to show the phone to Akechi.
This plan still surprises me no matter how many times I hear it.
Still, I couldn't just directly hack into the Metaverse Nav. It's a mysterious app after all. But you know how it has that bookmark function? All you have to do is push the button. Making the phone think he was pushing that button was totally doable. Pretty good, huh?
Pretty good indeed. Possiamo ancora parlare con Futaba?
It looked like it, but everyone else was risking their lives too. Though there's no doubt you were the most at risk. I mean, you actually got arrested. But it seems like all the drugs and stuff made you forget the details of the plan. Want me to explain how it all went down? It might take a bit.
Why not?
Well, since the rest of us didn't get captured, we had to act. We had to pretend we never wanted you to get arrested. Pretend the suicide news was a real shock. Basically, we had to act like we didn't know anything, 24/7. The enemy knows who we are, so we couldn't let our guard down even once while you were gone. If they had people watching us and realized what our plan was, they would have killed you immediately. Want to hear more?
Why not?
Another tough part was figuring out how to get Sai Nijima and Akechi back from the metaverse. In order to return to reality, you have to go back to the point where you came into the metaverse. So, Sai and Akechi had to go through where the nav was activated, as in, the hall where they met. Akechi would just come back the same way after the assassination. The real issue was Sai Nijima. We needed to stop her for a moment before she headed back toward the interrogation room. But nothing can be sent to a phone inside a palace. So, I had to program the messages in beforehand. In doing so, I made it seem like the messages were coming at that exact moment in time. That part was kinda last minute, so I had to pull an all-nighter trying to get it set up. I'm really on a roll here. Wanna hear some more?
Va bene.
Let me see. Another problematic thing was... Oh yeah, tying Akechi up. That was really tough. I obviously don't mean the real Akechi. Even if we could do that, it would ruin our plan. The one we had to tie up was Sai Nijima's cognitive Akechi.
Ah, già.
This part's really complicated. I know you're tired. You sure you want to hear all of this now?
Why not?
Well, we needed to lure Akechi into Sai Nijima's palace and have him kill the cognitive version. But Akechi would have entered the palace immediately after meeting Sai Nijima in the hallway, right? Because of that, there was a pretty decent chance he'd run into the cognitive Akechi. And if that happened, Akechi would have totally realized we'd lured him into the palace. Nobody actually even thought of this possibility until the night before the assassination. Makoto realized in the middle of the night, then it was a huge mess trying to figure out what to do. In the end, we chose to sneak into the metaverse while the plan was happening to tie up the cognition. Because you told Sae to show him the phone, we expected her to chat with him for at least a bit. So, we had a few minutes to strike after the cognitive Akechi showed up, but before the nav activated. It was Operation Tie Him Up. Though it wasn't really much of an operation in the end. Thankfully, Sai Nijima didn't know his true nature, so the one that appeared was an ordinary kid. It was pretty simple surrounding him, knocking him out, and tossing him on another floor.
Immagino la soddisfazione di fare una cosa del genere ad Akechi, per quanto cognitivo.
But man, watching Makoto's skill was super amazing. I guess she does use Knuckles as her weapon.
Beh.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, appreciate what everyone else did. I just can't help but rant when I'm talking about stuff that interests me. Sorry about that. Just focus on resting up. You don't have to worry about anything else. And seriously, well done.
Grazie, Futaba. Ben fatto anche a voi. Sojiro, che mi dici? Oh, in ogni caso, il rapporto della polizia sulla tua morte non giungerà a scuola, non devi preoccuparti. Pare che il procuratore Nijima sia riuscito a strappare un qualche accordo con i capoccia. Voglio dire, non hanno detto nulla nemmeno a me, ma finché te ne starai buono, te la caverai. Se avessero segnalato la tua morte, sarebbe stato come sbandierare che sei uno dei ladri. E loro non possono annunciare cosa sono i ladri fantasma, perciò sono sicuro che non faranno idiozie. Beh, tempo di andare a Nanna. Io me ne torno a casa, vai a letto, ok? Wow!
Guess you won't be going to school for a while. Don't worry about it. This'll be a breeze compared to what we've had to face so far. And we'll have all the time to come up with the plans together. To be perfectly honest, I don't really care what happens to Shido, one way or the other. But when I consider the fact that he's your enemy, I naturally think he's my enemy as well. I'm going to stay with you until the very end. Well then, we should get to sleep. You know, something that Futaba said before. When you were in a pinch in the palace, she picked up a reading of someone who came to your rescue. Was that...
Era Kasumi.
So it was Yoshizawa. Then we'd better let her know you're safe now.
Sì, sarebbe il caso.
And I'll even lend you a hand with that.
Cioè? Comunque è incredibile come abbiamo fatto un'oretta più o meno di spiegone. Anche se era necessario. Take your time.
There's no point in even having an election. Shido's gonna win.
Of course, he's the only reliable politician there is. Plus, the current government has been getting wrapped up in scandal after scandal. Even more importantly, there's just an aura about him. Like he can fix whatever problems we have.
Honestly, it doesn't really matter to me who does it. I just want to see our society back on track. Especially after it turned out those Phantom Thieves were nothing more than scum in the end.
We'll show you.
Ah, best boy, trattieniti. Oh. Kawakami, ho sentito che è ritornato a casa, così l'ho detto in classe. Stai bene? Sì, grazie. Sei vivo? Al notiziario dicono che ti sei suicidato. Chiamami appena puoi. Ero così confusa. L'importante è che tu stia bene. Non ti preoccupare per la scuola, prenditi cura di te. Meno male. È vero che il leader dei ladri fantasma è morto? Come ha potuto la polizia lasciare che si suicidasse in cella? Devono darsi una svegliata. Silenzio, state in classe, l'intervallo è finito da un pezzo ormai. Davvero, sembrate le scimmie di uno zoo. Oh già. Mi ha contattato la famiglia di Kurusu dicendo che sarebbe mancato a scuola per un po'. Diamine, dove pensate di essere comunque? È quasi ora. It's almost time. Oh madonna. Ehi, è una bugia, vero? Ti prego, dimmi che stai bene. Sto bene. Tra il suicidio di cui parlavano i notiziari e la prof Kawakami che ha detto che è ritornato a casa, avevo sinceramente paura di contattarti. Anche Sakamoto sembrava piuttosto evasivo quando ho chiesto a lui. Ma non preoccuparti, non lo dirò a nessuno. A proposito, il fansite è un vero casino. Ma continuerò a supportarvi da dietro le quinte. Buona fortuna. Ho ricevuto un messaggio da Oya. Mo' tutti i confidant che mandano messaggi. Ne stanno succedendo di tutti i colori con i ladri fantasma. Stai bene? Sto bene. Davvero? Ottimo. A causa dei ladri fantasma si è scatenato un putiferio. Sei ancora vivo, quindi devi avere qualcosa in mente, giusto? Devo prepararmi per qualcosa di grosso. Ma sono contenta che tu stia bene. Ora ho da fare. Ci sentiamo dopo.
Ehi.
Qui non devi preoccupartene, ma cerca di non fare nulla che possa attirare l'attenzione. Comunque, oggi è il giorno libero, quindi mangia il curry e prenditela comoda. Non c'è alcuna fretta, tanto non si farà vedere nessun cliente.
Ok.
Pensiamo alla parola chiave dopo che il curry del capo ti avrà rinvigorito. Oh. Avete capito qual è la parola chiave per entrare nel palazzo di Shido? Ho provato ogni tipo di soluzione, ma finora non ho avuto fortuna. È difficile comprendere i processi mentali di un genio del crimine come lui. Sapete, ci ho riflettuto, se c'è lui dietro a tutti gli arresti mentali... Questo non significa che tutti gli altri strani incidenti di questi ultimi anni sono opera sua. Per esempio, quello in metropolitana lo scorso aprile. Ora che lo dici, quell'incidente è costato il posto al ministro dei trasporti. Aspetta, stai cercando di dire che l'incidente è stato provocato da Shido? Ma la metropolitana non ha pensato a tutte quelle vite innocenti? Quell'uomo sembra davvero incredibile. La parola è contratto, per pochi, Zhongli intensifies. A quanto sembra un sacco di vittime di quell'incidente si trovano ancora oggi in ospedale. Masayoshi Shido! Quanta gente avrà ucciso nel corso degli anni. Come potremmo sperare di comprendere come funziona la mente di un uomo così orribile? Ehi, non sarebbe più facile se andassimo lì e ci riflettessimo direttamente sul posto? Proviamoci. Se dovessimo andare mi piacerebbe che venisse anche Akira-kun, ma... andrà tutto bene? Non lo noterà nessuno? Probabilmente una volta lì capiremo in un attimo qual è la parola chiave. Inoltre, con la mia velocità posso seminare chiunque si metta sulle nostre tracce. D'accordo, allora è deciso che Akira-kun verrà con noi. Però ricordate, il nostro obiettivo è non farci vedere. Ok, bene, incontriamoci davanti al palazzo della dieta ed entriamo nel palazzo di quel bastardo.
Alright, let's head to the diet building. Make sure you aren't discovered, okay?
Madonna, se mi facessero salvare sarei anche contento in realtà, ma mi sa che faremo tutta una tirata fino al palazzo.
You going out?
Proprio così.
You gotta be kidding me. You realize you're done for if you get caught, right? Ugh. The stunts you pull sometimes. Just don't stay out too late.
Puoi salvare? Quando mi ridanno il controllo.
She isn't here.
Let's begin at once. Police cars are making rounds, so we can't stay here too long. We already have Masayoshi Shido and Diet Building. All we need is what he thinks of this place.
Maybe Mount Fuji, since it's the highest place in the country?
Conditions have not been met. What about a mansion?
Since he's going to subjugate everyone as Prime Minister, perhaps a school?
What about an arena, like the Colosseum?
Imperial Palace? It's no good.
I thought we would have gained entry by now. Maybe we shouldn't have called you here.
Hey, you think he's guarding his whole palace with a barrier? Shido stole the cognitive science research, right? Well, maybe it had some special move written in it.
Is that even possible?
Boh.
Who knows? I've got no idea.
There was nothing like that in the notes I saw.
Anyways, what kind of person is Shido? I can't figure him out.
I did some light research on him last night, but I couldn't get a grasp on the type of man he is.
Oh, the police.
That man over there is probably a legislator, right? I'll try asking him. Excuse me. I'm a member of the newspaper club at my high school. May I speak with you for a moment?
Sure.
What kind of person is Representative Shido? What's he think about the national diet?
His stance is dedication for country. It's how he's garnered everyone's trust. He's an admirable man of action, with a first-class determination. I'd say he's a model politician. I believe that he'll help create a wonderful future in which young adults like you can live in ease.
An exemplary answer.
Sì, sembrava quasi che avesse letto, più che
It makes sense he wouldn't tell teenagers
parlato.
anything unnecessary.
Look over there. He's on a walkie-talkie.
Oh no, a walkie-talkie, no!
Wait, is it about us?
That doesn't look good.
We should leave at once.
Run,
Tomorrow's
Forrest.
a day off, so let's have an early strategy meeting. Meet at LeBlanc, okay?
We should all think about this tonight.
Boom, 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 boom.
The criminals calling themselves the Phantom Thieves are no more. However, I believe that this country's citizens are still living their days in anxiety. These scandals only increase our distrust of the current government. As a citizen myself, I am enraged.
Look who's talking.
What does it mean to be a politician with responsibility? Working toward personal gain without consideration of the country is outrageous.
The election's public notification is tomorrow. But no matter where I go, people are cheering for Shido.
Everyone's being deceived so easily.
Oh. Ho provato a guardare le interviste di Shido sulla rete. Sembrano tutte così maledettamente false. Ho controllato anche il suo profilo, ma non ho trovato molto, a parte titoli di studio e curriculum. Ha 53 anni ed è diventato deputato dopo aver fatto parte dell'Assemblea metropolitana. Anche se il ministro è uscito dal partito di maggioranza per formare il Partito Uniti per il Futuro. Shido è un ministro, o dici sul serio? Ha ricevuto una nomina speciale, al momento quello è il suo titolo. Pare abbia anche vinto un concorso in cui la gente doveva indicare chi avrebbe voluto come capo. Persino i siti di notizie danno per scontato che sia destinato a diventare primo ministro. Prima i giapponesi, esatto, Xanx. Vedo che tu fai parte del suo partito. Se solo potessimo scoprire il vero significato delle parole di Shido.
In order to save this country that has been tainted by villains, social reform is essential.
Ugh.
Disgusted noise. Futaba's disgusted noise. La reputazione di Shido è veramente alle stelle. È assurdo. Questo non è più il livello di popolarità di un normale politico. Cos'ha di così grandioso? Davvero, non capisco. È un leader forte, che protegge i cittadini. Beh, almeno così dicono. Ma sono tutti ciechi. Dovremmo semplicemente far luce sulla sua vera natura. No, Vale, colpa tua, non mia. A proposito, va bene se domani mia sorella si unisce a noi? Spera di poterci dare una mano anche lei? Sarebbe fantastico. Ok, glielo dirò. Ok, domani scopriremo di sicuro le parole chiave. Perché Shido è così popolare? Anche se nessuno sa la verità su di lui, è comunque inquietante. Lo è. Lo è. E vedo che abbiamo un poster dei Phantom Thieves. Controlli su Discord. Che succede? Oh no. Siamo davvero spiacenti nel dovervi comunicare l'inevitabile posticipazione di Ultime Vacanze, previsto per il 20 dicembre 2020. Purtroppo è ora rinviato ad una data non precisata per i primi mesi del 2021. Questo è dovuto a numerose complicazioni e contrattempi che hanno bloccato la lavorazione per troppo tempo. Questo orribile 2020 non ci merita. Speriamo di poter contare su un nuovo anno fantastico e ricco di progetti. No, il 2020 è rovinato. Questa è la ciliegina su questa torta di merda che è il 2020. Porco diavolo. Il diavolo è un suino, un maiale schifoso. Maledetto mangia merda. Questo 2020 non la finisce più. Il maestro Federico, colui che ha regalato al mondo vacanze estive e altri capolavori come non mi ricordo, Vivere un incubo, dove lui e le sue ragazze anime parlano e hanno intercourse tra di loro. Che salutiamo, che ci segue sempre. Ciao Fede, grandissimo. Se mai dovessi ascoltare queste parole, chiamami. Il film del maestro, sì, beh, sì. E se non lo conosci, Bloody, insomma, possiamo farci un bel rewatchone di tutte le sue opere più importanti. E, insomma, ha creato questi film che dovevano culminare con Ultime Vacanze, che usciva il 20 dicembre, ma adesso ha fatto un annuncio, a quanto pare, dove verrà posticipato. E quindi diavolo porco, cioè non ci tengo, non sai cosa ti perdi, Bloody. Stai molto attenta a ciò che dici.
Let's do it.
Stai estremamente attenta. Quindi per cui, ragazzi, io sento puzza di infiltrazione nel palazzo, se dobbiamo decidere di uscire da qua. Quindi potremmo tranquillamente salutarci qui. Abbiamo fatto comunque il nostro bel tempo con Morgana, visto che Morgana è sempre nei nostri cuori. La teniamo anche a vista. Spero che vi siate divertiti. Mi sono divertito io a vedere le reazioni di Bloody, che giustamente era la prima volta che vedeva il tutto. Noi ormai Bear e Xanx siamo forgiati. Qua non è cambiato niente rispetto alla versione base di Persona. E quindi noi ci rivediamo venerdì. E ti diverti alle mie spalle? Ebbene sì. Non alle tue spalle, al tuo fianco, che è ben diverso. Quando mi spavento, quando ci rimango, insomma, ho una vasta scelta, mettiamola così, una vasta scelta di reaction. E venerdì io credo che porterò nuovamente Vampire, perché mi ha preso molto bene, mi è piaciuto veramente abbastanza da convincermi a continuarlo. Nonostante ho notato casualmente che qualcuno ha messo non mi piace sui video su YouTube di Vampire, ma a queste persone io purtroppo devo dare una brutta notizia, e cioè che non mi interessa un cazzo della vostra opinione. Che si sappia, non sono uno streamer che guadagna da ciò che fa, quindi decido un po' il cazzo che voglio di ciò che porto. E niente, con queste parole di dolcezza e umiltà, direi, ci salutiamo. E l'appuntamento con Persona 5 Royale è per domenica prossima. Quindi ancora una volta, ragazzi, vi ringrazio e vi auguro una buonissima serata. Non ce ne fotter cazzo. Sì, onestamente non devo cercare il consenso di nessuno. Ciò che porto lo porto perché voglio portarlo. Nel momento in cui mi verranno regalate le cose, potrò cominciare a pensare di farle, anche solo per ringraziare. Ma finché quel momento non verrà, questo è ciò che offro. E se piace, bene, se non piace, è pieno di canali Twitch e YouTube che potete andare a vedere. Quindi, grazie ancora, belli, e ci vediamo venerdì e domenica prossima. Ciao ciao!